What's up, everybody? I'm Nars filling in for Stella, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all of the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Todd Howard has confirmed with IGN when Fallout 5 will begin its development, plus all signs are pointing towards God of War, Ragnarok's release happening before winter. In the entertainment world, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse teased some villains, and The Last of Us HBO series has revealed some cast members. Happy weekend to you all, and let's jump right in. Todd Howard has confirmed to IGN Fallout 5 will be Bethesda Game Studios' next game after The Elder Scrolls 6, which is set to follow after 2023's Starfield. In an interview with IGN discussing Starfield's gameplay reveal at the Xbox Bethesda showcase, Howard discussed what's next for his studio once the new space RPG is out. He said, yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that, so our slate's pretty full going forward for a while. We have some other projects that we look at from time to time as well. So Fallout 5 is likely many years away with Bethesda's current pace of production. Howard confirmed work on Starfield started in late 2015, meaning it will probably take over 7 years to finish. The last main Elder Scrolls game, Skyrim, was released in 2011, and with its sequel in pre-production, we probably won't have anything to see for a couple years from now. Elder Scrolls 6 was announced in 2018, but was pushed back to allow the team to work on Starfield first. Fallout 4 was released back in 2015 with Fallout 76 in 2018, so don't expect any news until Elder Scrolls 6 is close to release. Howard acknowledged the long wait for his fan-favorite games, stating, "They do take a while. I wish they came out faster, I really do. We're trying as hard as we can, but we want them to be as best as they can be for everybody." Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is getting a new gen upgrade, but if you acquired the game through PlayStation Plus Collection, well, the upgrade won't come free. Capcom shared tons of news at its summer showcase, including new gen upgrades, as well as a tiny new look at Resident Evil 4 and multiple add-ons to Resident Evil Village. The new gen versions of Resident Evil 7 will come with better visuals, higher frame rates, and ray tracing, with PlayStation 5 players given the ability to take advantage of 3D audio and DualSense features. Sadly, PlayStation Plus members that obtain Resident Evil 7 from the collection will not be eligible for the free PlayStation 5 version upgrade, meaning subscribers will have to purchase the game separately in order to get the enhanced version. This isn't the first time PlayStation Plus members have not been eligible for an upgrade. Final Fantasy VII Remake was also free to PlayStation Plus members early last year, yet the copy of the game could not be upgraded to the PlayStation 5 version, forcing players to purchase the game in order to access the updated features and the new gen exclusive episode Intermission DLC. Sony reversed its decision last December to allow PlayStation Plus members to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 edition, but by that time it was too little too late. There is no confirmation if Sony will eventually do the same for Resident Evil 7, but let's hope for the best. And finally, Ubisoft announced a ton of content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, including a brand new roguelike mode coming this summer. During the Assassin's Creed 15th anniversary stream celebrating the release of the original Assassin's Creed in 2007, Ubisoft announced Valhalla's new roguelike mode titled Forgotten Saga. It's described as a fresh take on the series formula and will be free to all players. Think Hades meets Niflheim as players battle hordes of monsters and fight their way to reach the daughter of Loki. In addition to Forgotten Saga, Ubisoft announced fans can expect one final DLC installment in Ivor's Tale, which will be a free chapter for players and will arrive later this year. Ubisoft isn't ready to formally announce a new Assassin's Creed game yet, but fans can bide their time with Origin's new 4K 60 frames per second patch available now. It will also be free to play from June 16th to June 20th. Valhalla's Discovery Tour Viking Age is also receiving a stand-alone release on consoles, Stadia, and at a later date, Luna. Naughty Dog revealed new footage of tests from The Last of Us Part 1 Remake, in which we see an incredible glow-up comparison for the key character. A tweet by the developer shows a side-by-side comparison of tests from the new The Last of Us Part 1 Remake and the original model. The difference is pretty astounding. Annie Wershing, who plays Tess, was praised by Naughty Dog's co-president and The Last of Us creative director Neil Druckmann for her performance and is pleased with how much better this new Tess model shows off Wershing's performance. The Last of Us remake was rumored to be in development by Naughty Dog for a long time and was finally confirmed for the PlayStation 5 version and rebranded as Part 1 during last week's Summer Game Fest. The Last of Us Part 1 remake is being rebuilt from the ground up, and considering the attention to detail showcased in this test reveal, fans might have to pick this game up again when it's released on PlayStation 5 September 2nd, with the PC version to be released at a later time. Moving on, supply chain issues have impacted everything from cars to graphic cards, and Xbox says the shortage impact on console availability might remain rocky until 2023. In a recent investor call covered by GameIndustry.biz, Xbox's CFO Tim Stewart reported that the supply chain environment could remain rocky through 2022 and the holiday season. The recent lockdowns occurring in China have severely impacted Xbox's supply chain, forcing a shortage in semiconductors and other critical system parts. Stewart claimed manufacturers were facing limited parts and elevated logistics pricing, pressuring margins, which could make it harder to find a new system. As of recently, Xbox Series S consoles have been accessible through various retailers, and Xbox has reported a successful fiscal year in 2021, but the company foresees 2022 to 2023 will be a bumpy road for those looking to make the new gen switch. Fans have been making tons of comparisons between Starfield and No Man's Sky, but there is one clear difference between the two games. Starfield won't let you seamlessly fly from space to a planet or vice versa. In IGN's recent interview with Bethesda game studio head Todd Howard, he said that while Starfield has 1,000 explorable planets, takeoff and landing will be somewhat streamlined. He justified this decision by explaining that it would be a lot of engineering work to add a feature that was, quote, really just not that important to the player. Howard explained that ideas that weren't deemed as crucial to experiencing 100 procedurally generating solar systems were scrapped early in development, saying, people have asked, can you fly the ship straight down to the planet? No, we decided early in the project that the on-surface is one reality, and then when you're in space, it's another reality. He continued with the sentiment that the time spent making that feature work wouldn't offer the payout the team was looking for in terms of quality, focusing more on making sure that gameplay in space and on the surface will look and play as good as they can be. But what are your thoughts? Do you think this feature is lacking in Starfield, or does Todd's reasoning make sense? Let me know in the comments. Moving on, the upcoming 3D Sonic title, Sonic Frontiers, boasts an open zone structure, and Sega's director has told us what that actually means, aside from sounding cooler than open world. In an interview with IGN, director Morio Kishimoto called Open Zone Sonic Frontiers' secret weapon, stating level-based platformers often have a world map. Our open zone is a world map, only we've made it entirely playable. A playable world map that includes stage-like elements is something that hasn't really been done before, so we had to come up with a new name. What is often defined as a world in other level-based platforms is called a zone in Sonic games. So we took that and combined it with open, which refers to a freely explorable field. So that's what Open Zone stands for. Kishimoto sees the open zone structure of Sonic Frontiers as an evolution to the traditional world map tailored to match Sonic's high-speed gameplay while offering new ways to challenge players. Unlike level-based platformers that send players to each stage from a menu or map, Sonic Frontiers Open Zone seems more like a 3D hub world similar to Sonic Adventure or Super Mario 64, with game levels existing as elements within the open zone area. Whether Frontiers actually does something unique to set itself apart remains to be seen, but it's clearly a new approach to a Sonic game. Sonic Frontiers is aiming for a winter release and will definitely have more coverage leading up to launch. God of War Ragnarok was apparently planned for a September launch, but now it's seemingly planned for a November release. As per an article on Bloomberg, God of War Ragnarok was planned for a release in September, but is now looking for a November release date, as the September slot is now seemingly filled by The Last of Us Part 1 remake announced yesterday. Despite updates this past week that God of War may have been delayed to 2023, sources tell Bloomberg Sony is expected to make an announcement on Ragnarok's release later this month. God of War Ragnarok has been delayed multiple times because of developers dealing with the pandemic, production issues, and lead voice actor Christopher Judge undergoing surgery. Though a planned November release doesn't guarantee one, it's still a good sign God of War Ragnarok will still arrive this year. It would be really ironic if God of War Ragnarok gets a November 11th release date, as that was previously the date Starfield had before being delayed till 2023. Blizzard's latest game, Diablo Immortal, is not having a good start, as it has been review bombed, now having the lowest consumer score ever. Diablo Immortal has hit an all-time low of 0.5 out of 10 user score on Metacritic, with over 700 strongly negative reviews. Diablo Immortal started off with high praises for its fun gameplay and functionality, but as players reach the end of the game, Immortal's microtransactions have plagued endgame leveling and PvP. Big YouTubers like Asmongold have reported cases where Diablo Immortal rewards legendary items to those who are willing to dish out money to fully upgrade their character, with some content creators paying $4,000 upwards to $100,000. The game is not impossible to play otherwise, but fans are lamenting that a need to pay for gems to even get decent gear truly cripples the game and experience. Whether the United States government steps in like Belgium or the Netherlands, who have strict laws regarding loot boxes in video games, is anybody's guess. I, for one, am not going to pay that kind of money for a game, but let me know how much you've paid or didn't in the comments below. The Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase revealed gameplay footage of Starfield, and fans are speculating it will allow players to visit Earth in the 24th century. As spotted by Reddit user Void404 and 18L, screenshots of gameplay show the player walking on what appears to be Mars, as a NASA Opportunity rover look-alike is seemingly buried in the sand. Opportunity landed on Mars in 2003 and is considered one of NASA's most successful missions. The rover spent 14 years exploring the red planet before a dust storm wiped it out in 2018. Where on Mars Opportunity wound up is unknown, but it seems players may be able to rediscover it in Starfield. This is leading to fan speculation that among the 1,000 planets players will be able to explore, we might be paying a visit to our own solar system Sol. While Bethesda's Todd Howard explained that each player will be able to land anywhere and explore each planet, many are skeptical that Bethesda can deliver on the hype. Plenty of comparisons have been drawn between Starfield and No Man's Sky for obvious reasons. Starfield's promise of 1,000 planets might sound overly ambitious. No Man's Sky had billions thanks to its use of procedural generation. One concern with the scale of Starfield's universe is whether Bethesda can make all of those planets actually interesting to visit. Starfield gameplay revealed space dogfight and ground combat, an immense amount of customization, and the amount of lore we've come to expect from Bethesda. But considering how ambitious the project is, it's not surprising that it's been met with some skepticism. In other news, Take-Two CEO agrees with PlayStation's stance on releasing AAA games via subscription services on day one launch dates. He doesn't think it's a good idea. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick spoke at GI Live's online keynote where he discussed his skepticism. It's a day of skepticism. Zelnick argued that doesn't make any sense to us because economically speaking, we don't think consumers are prepared to pay for that. And we can't afford to turn our business upside down in a way that doesn't make sense economically. There always has to be an intersection between what the consumer wants and what the publisher is able to do. And it doesn't make sense to do that for our properties. That's our opinion, and I think Sony agrees with us because it said so. Zelnick continued, noting the catalog service makes more economic sense for games that have been on the market or that have had prices drop. Zelnick also believes subscription services don't appeal to all gamers. He pointed out how people in the United States consume 150 hours of linear programming a month. However, games are consumed at a much different rate at about 45 hours a month. That's around 2 to 4 games a month, or way less for bigger games. But either way, the point is that the average subscriber isn't burning through a library of 100 games in a single month. Zelnick concluded his statement with, "It's not clear that your broad-based audience wants access to many hundreds of games in a month and is willing to pay for them. It is possible that a small subset of the audience wants that, but I don't think it's a broad base because it's not how people tend to consume interactive entertainment." He admitted he could be completely wrong about his perspective and is happy if that were the case, but ultimately he and his team are aiming to support consumer wants, so things could change. For those of you who subscribe to a Game Pass or a similar service, how many games do you play in a month and how many do you actually finish? Let me know in the comments. It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse reveals 2 new Spidey villains, and Avatar: The Last Airbender is coming back in a big way. See you in a bit. Welcome back! A new teaser image from the HBO Last of Us series has been released alongside voice actors from the game announced for the show. But first, the Spider-Man villain, The Spot, has been confirmed for the upcoming film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Let's swing our way to some details behind this.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has 2 villains Miles Morales and the Spidey crew will be contending with when Part 1 arrives June 2nd of 2023. Now revealed at the Annecy International Film Festival over the weekend and shared on the official Spider-Verse Twitter handle, we see Miles and Gwen take on The Spot. Yeah, that's his name, The Spot. Now, according to the post, The Spot is not only a thing that you can't remove from your pants, but it's also a deep cut into Spider-Man's rogues gallery, but it's also apparently one of his most formidable foes to date that you've never heard of. Now, The Spot made his debut back in 1985 in Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 98. Now, what makes him such a formidable foe is the fact that he can tear open interdimensional portals, and in the photo release, you can see him using his powers to have Miles accidentally kick Gwen right in the face. Now, The Spot will be voiced by actor Jason Schwartzman. Now, he's not the only villain making an appearance, though. The Vulture will be swooping right on in to wreak havoc within the Spider-Verse, voiced by Jorma Taccone from the Lonely Island of SNL fame. Now, Sony Pictures Animation tweeted that this version of the Vulture is anachronistic in nature, so definitely a different and unique spin on the villain. Now, as things continue to develop, we'll likely see more cast announcements and character reveals, and I can't wait to see them. Now, more Marvel-related news sees us laying down the hammer on these new Thor: Love and Thunder character posters. We got 2 goats right there. Now, featuring everyone from Gore the God Butcher to these epic goats, we got a very good glimpse of each Marvel figure in all their glory. Now, my personal favorites are, I gotta say, the mighty Thor and Valkyrie because they look so damn buff. I'd spot either of them in the gym any day. But we'll all get to spot Thor: Love and Thunder in theaters July 8th. And finally, Netflix revealed the title for Knives Out 2, and it's far from what you might think it'd be. Instead of going with the obvious title of Knives Out 2, Too Knife to Handle, it's called Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. You've got returning cast member Daniel Craig along with Dave Bautista joining in with the likes of Edward Norton, Ethan Hawke, and many more. Now, the name Glass Onion is a Beatles song off the White Album, continuing the tradition of borrowing names of songs from iconic bands, as Knives Out is a 2001 Radiohead jam. That's right, y'all remember that song? Knives Out, I never heard it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the sequel's release date is still a bit of a mystery itself, but it'll be coming to Netflix sometime this holiday season. The Last of Us on HBO is a wrap, and as the team behind the television adaptation moves into post-production, Neil Druckmann dropped this new image from the show. Now, in it, we finally see Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey's Joel and Ellie, respectively. Now, you might remember this image that dropped a few months ago, which didn't reveal much. But with this image and the leaked set photos, well, I think we have a good sense of what to expect from the live adaptation. Now, Druckmann also revealed that the voices of Joel and Ellie from the game, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, will have roles on the HBO series. Now, they obviously didn't specify who they'll be playing, but it seems they'll have substantial roles. Now, some have gone out on a limb and said they'll be portraying Ellie's parents, but, it's the internet, so please take that with a grain of salt. Now, with what Druckmann, Troy, and Ashley revealed at Summer Game Fest, with them saying the entire cast and crew were fans of the game franchise, really gives me personally some hope that this will be a true-to-life adaptation of the Last of Us video game franchise. Now, I want to know your thoughts, though, on this. Comment down below. From one adaptation to another, The Boys has officially been renewed for a 4th season. Now, it's honestly no surprise, especially if you've been watching the current season. The show's a freaking smash hit. Now, according to Prime Video, the viewership of this series has grown 17% from season 2 and 234% from season 1. If you want to see what all the buzz is about, check it out on Prime Video with season 3 dropping new episodes every Friday. And finally, the Cuphead show is coming back this August. Geek Week is currently going on, and Netflix revealed that the show will be returning August 19th. Now, along with the date reveal, we got this never-before-seen clip showing what Mugman and Cuphead have been up to. Should be pretty exciting for fans of both the show and the video game, proving the Cuphead show has many more delicious episodes lined up. Now, James Cameron isn't the only one making multiple Avatar sequels at once. Now, we've got 3 new Avatar: The Last Airbender movies in development at Paramount and Nickelodeon Animation. Now, the upcoming animation projects were announced at the Annecy International Film Festival, where it was revealed that several Avatar and The Legend of Korra veterans would be returning to work on the projects, including the co-creators Brian Konietzko and Michael DiMartino. Now, in an effort to keep true to what made the franchise a hit with audiences, the president of animation and development at both Nickelodeon and Paramount said, quote, "As original creators Mike and Brian expand the Avatar universe with us, we're keeping it all in the family, with Lauren bringing the same kind of expert, beautiful work she did on the original series to her new directing duties on the forthcoming theatrical." Now, this is just the beginning of the expansive Avatar Airbender universe Nickelodeon is setting out to create, which will encompass multiple TV shows and movies across a variety of platforms. Now, with these upcoming animated movies and Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar in the works, The Last Airbender is definitely in a state of resurgence and set to make waves very soon. Now, in other news, Samuel L. Jackson is content with his current roles in Hollywood and tired of chasing roles that might win him an Oscar. Now, speaking to the LA Times, while admitting he got emotional when he received his honorary Oscar this year from Denzel Washington, grabbing gold isn't his top priority these days. Now, Jackson said, quote, "I was never going to let the Oscars be a measure of my success or failure as an actor. My yardstick of success is my happiness. Am I satisfied with what I'm doing? I'm not doing statue-chasing movies." Good on him. Now, regardless of winning an Oscar, he's brought lots of enjoyment to fans across the globe. And considering he's done a Jurassic Park, a Die Hard, a whole last Star Wars trilogy, the majority of Tarantino's films, and he kicked off a little thing called the MCU, his on-screen legacy puts most Oscar winners to shame. And finally, here's what Ryan Gosling will look like as Ken in that Barbie movie that they making, which is, yes, it's a real thing, believe it or not. Now, Warner Brothers tweeted out this image of Gosling in a spray tan, a jean jacket, and bleach blonde hair. Now, he's also wearing designer underwear with his name on the elastic. Now, it's unclear why he needs underwear since, Ken doesn't historically have much going on downstairs, but let's not overthink his junk. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with this particular junk, this is being written and directed by Academy Award nominated Greta Gerwig, who made a name for herself with Lady Bird and 2020's Little Women. Now, Gerwig is co-writing Barbie with Noah Baumbach, who's responsible for several critically acclaimed movies about divorce and failed relationships, including Marriage Story and The Squid and the Whale. So hopefully Barbie and Ken are doing okay. Let's hope so. Now, we don't know much about the plot of this film other than it's a romantic comedy that'll also star Simu Liu and Issa Rae as another Ken and Barbie respectively. So Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are Barbie and Ken Prime in this crazy multiverse of Mattel madness. Now, no word yet on if baby brother Tommy will make a cameo in the film.
It's big brother Ken
and baby brother Tommy. We're gonna have a great day.
We sure do hope so.
Street Fighter 6 was revealed in full at the Summer Games Fest showcase over the weekend, and we are excited to see what could very well be a big revival to one of the most beloved franchises in the fighting game community. Maximilian Dood has been all over the nitty-gritty coverage that avid Street Fighter players want to hear, from talks of punishes to even possible combo setups to the brand new characters.
This little moment right here where you can sort of focus, attack, dash, cancel in, but it's way faster than that, and maybe catch people off guard.
While his reactions have been mostly positive, Maximilian refers to Street Fighter 6 being a blend of old and new, and compares the game to the recent 2019 Resident Evil 2 remake. Justin Wong, that guy, said, "Watched a lot more Street Fighter 6 stuff, and my god, the ideas in my head are overflowing." There have been some mixed reactions to Street Fighter 5 over the years, but with all of this new gameplay and with all the top players all over the scene gushing over the mechanics, I think this could be an FGC renaissance.
Before me, I see the future. Human.
Overwatch 2's release date has finally been revealed. The long-anticipated sequel will be coming out on October 4th. The price? What price? It's free to play. That means for the first time ever, Overwatch is accessible to everyone day one. This also means that the competition is only going to be more fierce. If you've been watching Overwatch League since the beginning of May, there's a good chance you could get ahead of the curve when it comes to the meta, and the general who does what, because Overwatch 2 has been the game for pro Overwatch.
But a new one is right around the corner.
And finally, Valorant's North American playoff bracket has been set. Since the end of the first major in April, every region has been fighting tooth and nail in the qualifiers to have a chance of a very limited spot for the next international tournament in Copenhagen next month. Not every North American team survived the qualifiers though. The Guard, TSM, Sentinels, and surprisingly Cloud9 all had underwhelming performances and will not be moving into the playoffs.
I'm Nars filling in for Stella, and that was your weekly fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.